Okay, so here we are in front of the house. It is snowing right now. I'm going to do a quick walk around the exterior. And there's this driveway here. Sorry, my car is huge, but ignore that. Looks good. Now, I'm not a home inspector, of course, but the siding is definitely not original siding. Looks pretty good. Windows have been replaced over the years for sure. There's this cute little gate right here, and it does work. I opened it just a minute ago. Here's like a downspout thing. Nice tall fence here that's probably 8 feet tall. It looks pretty sturdy. Here is the backyard. You can see the screen porch from here. Back, again, exterior looks pretty good. Here's the deck. Underneath the deck is pretty dry. All right, and then I don't have the right boots on. We'll go in the yard a little bit. Here we go. You have some trees. You have this nice little shed back here. Let's see. So, and then over here on the side, there's another little gate. You can see the air compressor out there. Little bench. So it's a pretty good sized yard. Lots of room for playing or entertaining or whatever you might need. Here's the outside of the screen porch, which looks beautiful. Okay, so here's another view of the back. And there is some condensation in some of those windows. You know, not a huge deal, just something to keep in mind. Sometimes you can't see that in the photos, so I'll try and point it out in the video. And then here we go. This is, oh, I shouldn't guess, maybe 10 feet wide, maybe 12 back here. So plenty of space back here for whatever you need. All right, I'm going to pause and open the front door and we'll look at the inside of the house. Okay, I just walked inside the house. So here is the front door. It has an electronic lock on it right now. This was kind of tricky to unlock it, but if you use the electronic lock, it's pretty straightforward. So here I'm standing in the very entryway, and it smells like paint, like 100% paint. So someone definitely painted recently. Everything looks freshly painted, and it smells like it too. So when you walk in the door, this is going to be your coat closet. So it's really big. It's not super deep, but that's good. It is pretty wide. You'd have lots of room for coats in here. This is probably the original parquet floor. It's very cool. It's in pretty good shape. If there's anything wild, I'll definitely point it out for you. I mean, it's an old floor, so you have realistic expectations there, but it is in pretty good shape and it looks really cool. So it gives the home a lot of character. So we're going to do this. This one has a lot of little levels. So we're going to do it in the entryway. There's the living room, kitchen. There's the like basement. This is like storage bathroom. Here's, you know, so we're just going to kind of go around. So the first here, right off the entryway, is this bedroom here. So very nice, freshly painted floor in pretty good shape. This, you know, there are some parts of the floor that have shown some more wear. There are some gaps here. That's just what happens with humidity and temperature changes on a wood floor over the years. You know, some scratches from use and everything. Nothing terrible, certainly. Here's some of that condensation on the window I mentioned in the exterior video. It's just that some of the seals have gone bad and moisture gets trapped between the panes. Not a big deal, just something to be aware of. So I'm going to point out stuff like that in the video, and I'm not meaning to be overly critical or negative or anything like that. I know what it's like to look at houses to buy when you're not there. And so I'm going to point out some of those things that I see, but I don't mean them negatively. I just want to be honest with you about the condition. So here we go. This is in this little threshold here. You kind of walk through here, and this is a closet. So linen closet, I don't know, additional storage closet. It's probably too far to be a pantry, but it could be a backup pantry if you shop at Costco or something like that. This house does have mostly contemporary switches that have been replaced, which is very nice. So here, this original parquet floor continues through here. Here is probably the 5th bedroom. This one's a little bit smaller than that front bedroom, and it does have, you know, some HVAC and stuff running up there. So there is that kind of stripe, a racing stripe. If this were a kid's room, you could sell it as a racing stripe for sure. Just a little bit. You can still walk in here. It's not super low. So same floor, you know, used condition. Here's the window. So this one overlooks the backyard. You can see there's a little patio area there and the shed. So Looks pretty good. I'm trying not to go too fast here. Sorry. And here's the closet in here. Smells like paint. So I believe they probably painted the entire house. It's all looks like kind of like a soft white. Here's another closet right here. This one's not as deep as the other one, but the shelves kind of come, there's no wasted space in here. Let's just say that. This walks out to the back. So, and then here, you know, where muddy boots and stuff have come in over the years, you're going to see a little bit more wear on floor and space like that. Here is a full bath, 3/4 bath, I guess, technically. Nice shower. It's bigger than I thought it would be because it kind of goes back behind that closet there. So very nice. It won't feel claustrophobic in there. Updated vanity. Lovely little bathroom. Has a nice view of the backyard. There are some blinds there if you want more privacy. So this is ceramic tile floor. It's not original, but it looks good. Bathroom tile here. So, okay. So then this was like, we'll call it bedroom 5, right? This is the closet. And then here was, you know, bedroom 4, we'll call it maybe. The one off the entryway right here. And then let's go upstairs. Okay, so we'll go up these stairs right here. So little things like they would like typically be quarter around here or something. So just, you know, again, I don't mean to be critical, just pointing it out as I see it because I know you're not here. So we walk up to this big living room here, which is absolutely lovely. This window, you know, has a little bit going on here in the corner. A little bit of fog, little bit of a situation there. So one thing to kind of keep in mind, it has this like nook back here, which is kind of cool. And then I'll pan around slowly here. It's a beautiful space. There's lots of natural light that comes in. The fireplace looks nice. It's big. You'd have room for a sectional and a TV if you wanted to. They have it staged as more of like a formal living room, but it's big enough to support a TV and a family couch if you wanted to. Through here is the dining room. Same color throughout the house. These are probably also original floors, so you're going to have a little bit of squeaks, but they're in pretty good shape. I'd say they were refinished. It's been a minute, but within the last 10 to 15 years probably. They are a little orange, not obnoxiously orange, but not a contemporary color. So you will see they're an old-fashioned color a bit, but they look like they're in pretty good shape. So again, you have some windows here. So this is what the window looks like with no seals broken. And then this is what it looks like with some of the seals broken. So not a deal breaker, just something to know. Beautiful dining room here. Definitely have space for a good sized table. Here is the spectacular 3-season porch. I'm going to be quick out here because I don't have my shoes on. But you do have a fan switch there. It has, might even be cedar. It looks really nice. Nice big fan and a light. Big space out here. Plenty of room. And then there's a little bit of deck space off there for your grill and everything like that. So great space out here for sure. Okay, so then we'll go into the kitchen. And let me see if I can back up a little bit. So you've got pantry here. There's the sink over the window. Very nice. So a little bit of that same thing that we had going on. I'm not a window professional, so I don't know exactly what that is. But just one thing of note. And they got this cool like oval, half oval kind of sink thing. It's pretty neat. Dishwasher. So there's not a ton of workspace here as far as counters go. Depending on how much food you prepare. But the counters are in great shape. This is a granite. And the cabinets look really nice. They've obviously been cleaned. And they, everything works as it should. When I say that. So not this. That doesn't open. Not sure what that is. But, oh, you know what? I bet it doesn't open because these need handles and it wouldn't physically open. So that's a bit of a bummer. But everything else works as it should. Let's check for water stuff. Don't see anything unusual. There's always a little bit of a mess down there. Doesn't look super bad. Let's see. Wall cabinets here. Got a nice big corner cabinet there. Could put some seasonings there. The microwave is a little high. So if you have anyone who's not an adult in your home, the microwave is a little high. Other than that, it looks good. Here is the nook for the fridge. Let's check out the fridge. Has been cleaned. Looks pretty good. This over here is an additional kind of cabinets. Now these are similar in color, and I'm not sure if you can tell in the video, but they are not exactly the same color. So again, not a criticism, just letting you know that these are similar, but they're a slightly different tone. So they're not an exact match, but they don't stand out, I don't think, really that much. It looks like, oh, there's some manuals and stuff in there, so that's nice when people leave those. Yeah, it's here. So if you needed a little bit more of a workstation, you could put a movable island or add some cabinets here. There's plenty of space there for that. Ceramic tile floor in here, cute little light fixtures. And I think that might be the old school way they used to do exhaust. So that's kind of cool. And then, okay, so then we come back into the living room here. You can see it. Now we're going to go up another flight of stairs. So, and this is the same wood throughout the rest of the house, rest of the 2 upper levels. Pretty good shape up here. You know, it's an old floor. You're going to get gaps, and like, it looks pretty good. It looks appropriate for how old it is, and it's been relatively well maintained. So there's a bathroom right up here at the top of the stairs, and you do have these cool like saloon doors at the top of the stairs. So if you were entertaining and you didn't want, you know, guests, children wandering up to see your bedrooms, you could close that, which is nice. We'll walk in here. This is about the same size as the one downstairs. You know, you're not going to find huge bedrooms in an older house, but this is a good size. It doesn't feel really cramped. Cute little closet here over the stairs, so you lose a little bit of space, but there's the hanging bar here. You could stack some things up there. And all the closet doors seem to actually close, which is not always the case. So, and this one has this really cool fan. Overhead lighting is not always common in these homes. So in here we have the hallway bathroom. This is a full bathroom. It has a tub and a shower. This color, it's kind of like a red-orange. It's not super bright. I mean, this is dated for sure, but it doesn't look bad. It looks like it was done well. I don't see any evidence of like the tiles being concave or like leaking or anything like that. So it was done a minute ago, but it looks pretty good. Here we go. Granite top on the vanity here. You got some drawers. Let's see if this is a medicine cabinet. I'm sorry. It's like winter, so I have my winter hat on. Yeah, this is a medicine cabinet. Pretty cool light fixture. And some exhaust. So nice bathroom. All right, we're going to keep walking down the hallway. And right here is a linen closet. So it goes, yeah, it doesn't go back much further. But you had one downstairs too, maybe even 2. So plenty of space. Another, you know, smallish to medium-sized bedroom here. Great for a kid or for guests. Does have overhead light, so that's great. They have it staged. This is a twin-size bed, so just to give you some scale, you do have room for a nightstand on both sides. If you wanted to, you could put a full or a queen in here. A king would probably not work very well, but I think you could get a queen in there as long as you didn't need a bunch of other furniture. Nice closet here. And again, you know, this room, some of the outlets in here haven't been changed like in the other rooms, but the light switches are newer and the home has been painted. So here would be the primary. So you have this little kind of corner here, and they have it set up nicely. This is a queen size bed here. So pretty good sized. And then let's see, let's check out the closet. This is an old house closet. Yep. It's just part of it, but it looks pretty good. And you can close it if you're like me and you keep your closet messy. Little nightstand here. And then, you know, this window has a little bit of that condensation on it. So these windows were probably not replaced super recently. So just one thing to keep in mind. So from your bedroom, you can see the backyard and the shed. And, you know, one of those trees might bloom really pretty in the spring. Here is the primary bath. So it is a half bath, which was not uncommon when these homes were built. It's nice. The floor is nice. It's a gray. It's old tile, but it actually looks really cool. This is a newer vanity that was replaced not too long ago. Actually, looks like it might be an IKEA vanity, and those are pretty good. Oh, no, it's not, but it looks good. This is probably a medicine cabinet. Yes. Oh, wow. Wow. There's mirrors everywhere. There you go. So from here, frosted glass on the window, which is nice. Towel bar there. And then there's one little thing I see here, you know, just that tile isn't in super good condition. Again, you know, not trying to be critical, just trying to give you the full picture. So, and then, you know, some of these were not painted. So I think the walls were painted, but the door casings and the doors were not painted. So you're going to see that the quality of the paint on the doors doesn't match the quality of the paint in the rest of the home. But, all right, so here we go. And then let's go downstairs, and then we're almost done. So we're gonna walk back downstairs. All right, so here's the kitchen. Okay, dining room is through there. Here is the living room. Beautiful, lots of light, and it does have overhead lighting, which is really nice. So we're gonna go back down this stairs right here. Here is the entryway, coat closet, and then there's the 2 bedrooms here and back through there, right? Okay, so we're gonna go down here now into, and then this is the same floor. This piece right here is a different floor. So that's a little strange because we have this floor and then this transition piece and then this floor and then this. And so this is 4 separate floors kind of right in a row, which is a little odd. This probably had to be replaced at some point. But this is the same floor that is upstairs. So just, you know, as a note of reference here, a handrail is the same. It's in good shape. It's pretty sturdy. Down here we have ceramic tile. It's got kind of the diamonds that come out from the wall there. You could think of it like a picture frame or a border. You have this space right here on the left when you come down, and then I'll pan around. Another beautiful space down here. So there's not as much natural light, of course, because we have smaller windows, but it feels very spacious down here. It has nice full height ceilings, overhead lighting, which you definitely don't usually find in a basement. So very nice. And then over here, we have a little kind of kitchenette, wet bar area, and they have a dining table set up here. There's another little window. And then, you know, there's some sort of vent coming through here. So these are newer than the upstairs cabinets, I would guess. This is also a granite on here. It's not as bright. I'm looking in the camera right now and it looks a little bit bolder in the video. It's not super bold in person. It's not subtle, but it's not super bold. And this is really cool. It's like a extra storage down here. So something, you know, might have happened down here. Not sure. I think, you know, the tile, maybe something heavy was dropped or something and they tried to repair it and it didn't go well. But otherwise, oh, and some paint, lots of paint, drywall mud, good stuff down here. So you got a couple, you know, little spare cords, but that's just what you get in an old house. And then over here, so you have this little corner back here too. There is an outlet there. I'm not sure what you would do with that, but there's an outlet if you want to plug something in. And then this has a door. So to your utility space here, we have washer and dryer and a screen door and some additional bifold doors that may have come off something else, but that are still with the home. There's that little window there that we can kind of see underneath the deck. And then a fireplace grill, and these are appliances. So Sean will talk to you about the appliances and, you know, if you have a home inspection, everything. This was certified January 11 of 2022. It does look relatively new. Again, I'm not an expert. That's not my thing, but it does look new. It's clean. I don't see any water around it. This also looks pretty good. So we can see this was probably installed. Okay, so the air ducts here, we can see the air ducts were cleaned in September of 2024. And then this here, I can't see exactly when it was installed. It was serviced in 2016 and it looks like serviced in maybe 2014. So it's not a brand new unit, but you know, that doesn't mean it's not great. So it looks pretty good. Everything in here is clean and it does look like it's been well maintained. So, okay, so I think that's about it. So this was the basement here, and then we'll walk back upstairs and we'll just end in the entryway where we began. So there we go.